As the second in line to the throne, you are the spare to the heir. Now, life as a British monarch isn't all crown jewels and palaces, because for all the ceremonies and grand lifestyle, everything they do is scrutinised by the British tabloids. And recent press coverage and events have shown that it's a role that comes with its perils as well as its privileges. Now, I can't imagine it's an easy life, but history does seem to be repeating itself as Princess Margaret, Prince Andrew and Prince Harry have shown a pattern of personalities and behaviours different to their sibling kings and queens. So today, let's talk about whether being sidelined for the top job makes you an even greater target for the press and what it's like to be the spare to the heir. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'm Sue Blackhurst and I bring the world of social psychology into everyday language. Now, if you're fascinated by people and you love learning about yourself as well as the people around you, then do subscribe to my channel and I will bring videos every Monday and every Thursday to help you understand more about yourself and the people around you. Now, it does appear that these days royal siblings are struggling to find their position in society, and as a result they're leading lives that lack direction as well as vocation. But history has proven that the spare can become the heir. That's most recognised with King George VI when his elder brother, King Edward VIII, unexpectedly abdicated to marry the American divorcee Wallis Simpson. Now, was it nature or nurture? I don't know. But how fortunate we were that having two daughters and no sons, it was the elder and more serious daughter Elizabeth who took the crown and not the younger and rather wild child and socialite Princess Margaret. Now, I do wonder whether having the status of spare encourages a more cavalier approach to life in the younger sibling, while the older heir has to face up to the incredible pressures of the daunting prospect of one day becoming monarch. It is well documented that Margaret and Elizabeth were incredibly close until Elizabeth was about 6 years old, as that is when their father became king. Now, their father, King George VI, wanted them to have a relatively ordinary upbringing for children of their wealth and social position, and he wanted them to be seen as equals, so he attempted to dress them the same and keep them similar for as long as possible. However, it is inevitable that the time would come when Elizabeth was treated more seriously as she was expected to take the throne. Now, both daughters were loved and pampered and both had every royal privilege, but whilst Elizabeth's future was very clearly mapped out, no one really knew what to do with Margaret. Now, long before the rebellious Prince Harry came onto the scene, Princess Margaret's private life was the subject of intense speculation by media and royal watchers, and she was often viewed as a controversial member of the British royal family. She established herself as the royal family's wild child, known in the press for her vivacious personality and antics. Margaret was an enthusiastic party princess. She'd drink vodka for breakfast, smoking 50 a day from cigarette holders, and cultivating friendships with a variety of celebrities, actors and musicians, whilst appearing quite aloof when on official royal duties. After a rebellious love life, she divorced in 1978 and continued to receive negative publicity as she was romantically associated with several men with allegations of drink and drugs. Now, her behaviour changes and mood swings certainly kept those near to her on their toes, because one minute there would be informal laughter and frivolity, but the next she could turn on you with cutting remarks, whilst many were saying that she had a tendency to look down on others, referring to the fact that she was born Her Royal Highness. Now, even her closest friends had to bow and curtsy and call her Mom, darling, and it's said that no one was allowed to forget her position. Many books and articles have been written about Princess Margaret's life, and one American writer claimed that she was far too intelligent to have no specific role. Now, he recalled a conversation with Margaret in which they were discussing her public image, and she said, "It was inevitable that when there are two sisters and one is the Queen, who must be the source of all honour and all that is good, that the other must be the focus of the most creative malice or the evil sister." So being the sister of a reigning monarch may have taken its toll on Margaret, as it was reported that she would often talk about her recurring nightmares about disappointing the Queen and being disapproved of. Margaret died aged 71 on the 9th of February 2002, and on her death, Lord Lichfield said that Margaret was pretty sad towards the end of her life because it was a life so unfulfilled. Now, Prince Andrew was born in 1960 and he's 12 years younger than the heir, Charles, and he's 10 years younger than Princess Anne. But being the second son, he took precedence and became the spare. Now, Prince Andrew's great uncle was Edward VIII, who gave up the crown to pursue other interests. And it's often been said that there are many similarities between Andrew and his great uncle. Both have been described as youthful and having interests in womanising, golf and a jet-set lifestyle, and by many accounts they both portrayed flashes of charmless arrogance. As the Queen's second son, Prince Andrew was a handsome action man. He was a Royal Navy helicopter pilot nicknamed Randy Andy when he dated a string of attractive women. His relationship with soft porn actress Koo Stark threatened his reputation until he went off to the Falklands War. But Andrew returned a hero, and in 1986 his marriage to fun-loving Sarah Ferguson raised his popularity and enhanced his reputation even further. But after their divorce in 1992, Andrew struggled to find a real role and was criticised for his extravagant, freeloading, golf-playing lifestyle and reported friendships with some dubious characters. In 2001, he became the UK's Special Representative for International Trade and Investment. But this was soon dogged by a string of scandals, and he was forced to resign in 2011 after details of his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein became public, a relationship that may now see him withdraw from royal life completely. When Princess Diana gave birth to Henry Charles Albert David, commonly known as Harry, on September the 15th in 1984, she fulfilled the most important duty of any Princess of Wales, to provide the just-in-case son. And Harry grew up knowing that he would have no real role to play and would eventually be jostled down the order of succession by William's children. Now, one reporter said that in normal families you often get the second son syndrome or even the middle child syndrome, where the younger or middle child feels inferior to the elder. But in the royal family, the spare to the heir grows up knowing that, barring death or abdication of his big brother, he has no constitutional role to play. You are simply surplus to requirement. Now, Prince Harry exemplifies both the negative and the positive side to the role as a royal spare. Despite a number of scandals, including smoking marijuana, dressing up as a Nazi and being photographed naked playing pool in Las Vegas, Harry's notable love of life and military service seemed to have endeared him to the British public, and he was once voted the most popular royal, including Queen Elizabeth herself. Harry's public image may well have changed since he married and became a father. But one of the strangest consequences of being a spare is that the older you get, the more irrelevant you become. When Prince William and Kate Middleton first announced that she was expecting, the further down the line Harry became, placing him now 6th in line to the throne behind Charles, William and his 3 children, George, Charlotte and Louis, and just 1 in front of his own son, Archie. The history books talk about the position spare, meaning that you have to behave in an impeccable manner, yet you can't be too strong or too confident so you don't overshadow the monarch or be seen as a threat. And these comparisons can be made between the expectations and career choices of Prince Harry and of his predecessors. The media scrutiny of Harry is no less or more than what his elder brother William receives, or what Charles receives compared to Andrew or Elizabeth to Margaret. So how hard must it be to live your whole life knowing that you are, for all intents and purpose, sitting on the subs bench knowing that you'll never get a game? There are mixed opinions, but Harry's current image is not a good one, and his popularity has certainly plummeted. And whilst many royal insiders question whether the prince will bounce back from his negative press, others claim that the plight of being a spare to the throne can become a lifelong curse. William and Harry were brought up with very different expectations. William has been told from an early age that one day he would shoulder an important responsibility and he must therefore always be good-mannered and keep his nose clean. Harry, on the other hand, has more freedom, but he only has to look at Princess Margaret's and Prince Andrew's life to see how empty and selfish a spare's existence can become. Carrying on from the immense popularity of his late mother's charity work, Harry set up the Invictus Games and he works for many other charities. So does this show a sign that there can be a break from tradition for the second in line if they do become more aware of their responsibility as a role model or an influencer? So the question is, can Prince Harry turn this around? Well, only time will tell. But being the spare does not have to be a second-rate job for him. But it's down to Prince Harry to reassess his actions if he wants to make sure that he doesn't end up with the same fate as Margaret and Andrew. So some really tough decisions there for Prince Harry. I do hope he sorts this out. Thank you again for all the support and all the comments about the flying orbs around my videos. Now, I did see them really clearly on the Prince Andrew video. I'll put the link up there if you've not seen it. But so many of you are pointing them out in other videos. If you know what they represent and what they mean, please do let me know, because you are saying it's a good sign, which I hope they are. My channel isn't about the royal family, but there's so much to talk about that it's sort of taken over. Thank you so much to Janie G for suggesting this week's topic. I've really enjoyed researching into the life of a spare. But please let me know in the comments box what you'd like me to talk about in the future. And also have a look at the poll up here, because I'm giving you a few options and suggestions. If you have enjoyed watching, please do subscribe, and if you haven't already, you can share the video as well, because it does make a huge difference. I'll be back on Monday. Now, I've no idea what I'm going to be talking about yet, because I'm going to wait and see what comes up in the poll. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye bye.